In this lecture, let's compare BSS and data section. The full form of BSS is block started by symbol. From the previous video, we came to know that all the uninitialized global variables and uninitialized static variables are stored in BSS section because these variables are data, but they don't carry any useful information because they are uninitialized. Since those variables do not have any initial values, they are not required to be stored in the data section since the data section consumes flash space. Imagine what would happen if there is a large global uninitialized array in the program, and if that is kept in the data section, it would unnecessarily consume flash space and yet carries no useful information at all. That's the reason why we don't store that in data section. BSS section doesn't consume any flash space unlike data section. That's the reason BSS section has no load address. You don't load that to flash. You must reserve RAM space for the BSS section by knowing its size and initialize those memory space to 0. This is typically done in the startup code. Linker helps you to determine the final size of the BSS section. So you have to obtain the size information from the linker script symbols, and we'll see that when we write the linker script. These are some of the background things which are required when you are writing a bare metal embedded application for a target. Here is an example. Here there is a global variable which is initialized. This would go into data section. How about this? This would go to the BSS. So how about this? This is initialized, but that doesn't mean that it goes to the data section. This is initialized with 0. It is just like uninitialized. That's why this would go to BSS. This obviously would go to data section. This is static uninitialized, so it would go to BSS. This will go to data section, and this is created only when this function is called. This is a runtime creation. This is stack. How about this? Here this variable will get created in stack when this function is called, but this is a constant. This will be stored in the flash. When this function is called, so this data will be initialized by reading from the flash. And this is static. There is a static keyword. Static variables are like global variables, but this is a global variable which is private to this function. This would go to BSS. This would go to data section. That completes our discussion on different data of a program. In the next lecture, let's write the starter file. I'll see you in the next lecture.